Hi, and welcome to Elementary Music with Donna. I am Donna Rhodenizer. I want to talk to you about grade 5s and 6s, or 4, 5s, and 6s, and the first few days of school. I know that we think of these students as the big kids. If you are an elementary music education specialist, if you meet them in the mall, they're like 11 years old and 12 years old. They look much smaller when they're not in clumps of 25 and 30 or 35, but they are still looking to you for a wonderful music education, and that is what they deserve to get. So when they are arriving in music class on the first few days of school, they're going to be a little bit trepidatious. What's going to happen? What are we going to have to do? We're going to be made to do things by ourselves. We're going to look silly. We don't want to look silly. Nobody wants to look silly when they're 11 and 12 years old, and that is certainly something we want to avoid. I like to choose activities that get them involved, contributing something about themselves or involved with each other that is sort of like icebreaker kind of things. So we do name games. There are just the simple ones, the same ones that I do with my littles, which is to go around the circle and say everybody's name using a drum, and I get everybody to say their name, and then we repeat it 3 times. It just puts names back in my head. If they've got classes that have mixed from the year before, it's always a great thing for them to kind of get through who the new faces are for them. It also gives me a chance to go down through my list and say, oh, that person moved, or no, I don't have you on my list, and do all of that stuff on the first day of school. And if you can do something like, look, my right hand side is free, which is just a clapping game. So you have, look, my right hand side is free, someone come and sit by me. And so you have somebody, there's a space by their right hand side, and you call somebody from the circle and they have to move and sit by you, which leaves an empty space by somebody else's right hand side. And you just try, the object is to try to fit in the new name and not break the rhythmic continuity. So if you heard it going in the game and it doesn't break continuity, it should sound like this. Look, my right hand side is free, Dasani, come and sit by me. Look, my right hand side is free, Thomas, come and sit by me. Look, my right hand side is free, Otis, come and sit by me. So that's each one of those. Look, my right hand side is free is somebody new because their right hand side is free. The tricky part of this is if you've got somebody who calls the person to, let me see, how does it work? So if I call the person that's next to John, and then John calls the person that's on the other side of that space, that person's moving over, but then they have to be the next person to say, look, my right hand side is free. So you might want to make a rule that you can't say the name of the person that's right next to the space for the first while until they get used to it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but hopefully that does. So that's a great game for grades 5 and 6. It's tougher than it sounds, and you don't want to break the rhythmic continuity. If you are not new in your school and the students know you, you can start with movement and get them to come in right away and get them to follow the leader, follow you, and pick names and get them to follow what that action is. If you are brand new in a school and you want to go a little easy on that, you can just put on a piece of music and just say, like, do what I'm doing, and then change what you're doing. And don't make it too complicated, because then they feel silly because they don't know how to do these fancy things that you're asking them to do. But it gives them a piece of music to hear when they're coming in. As soon as they're sitting down with the older students, I will say, what music were you hearing? What sounds were you hearing? Were you hearing voices? What instruments? What style? If you went home and somebody said, what did you hear for music today? How would you describe that? So they start using that vocabulary, and they know that they're going to have to be listening and be held accountable for what they're hearing. I also, with my older students, will kind of lay out some of the things we're going to be doing in the year. They want to know, or when are we going to play ukuleles, or when are we playing recorders, or when are we playing handbells? And I hope you're doing lots of singing right up through to grade 6. Some schools start band in grade 6 or grade 5, but I know in elementary general music classroom in Nova Scotia, the guidelines are that they're supposed to be singing all the way up through, so you want to be able to create opportunities for them to do that, in addition to doing some applications of recorders and handbells and ukuleles, guitars, and all of those kind of things in addition. So we talk about what they can expect, and I will talk about rules with my older kids, grade 3, 4, 5, and 6, I often say, now that they know me, I've been in the school for a long time, I often say I only have one rule, and it is respect. But what does respect look like? It means one person talking at a time. It means nobody laughs at anybody's contribution in this class ever. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And we will say, well, no, can we fix that or can we change that? And it's a great way to learn, is to make a mistake and to go forward from there. And that's always really good for them to know from the very beginning that this is going to be a safe space for them, and they can come and be creative, they can come and make mistakes, they can come and learn. And that is a wonderful space to provide for our students through our music programs. The teaching songs that you've been doing, the game songs, if you have game songs that you know are favorites from there last year, grade 6 and grade 5 students are really grade 5 and grade 4 students in September. And so you can review some of those. You're going to be needing those to extract concepts anyway, and those are more complex concepts, but the games are still fairly simple and hopefully are fun ones that they enjoy doing. So you want to throw a couple of those in, and that will probably take up a 30-minute class. There's your first day done, and all is well. If you have any questions for me, if you say, can you explain that look, my right hand side, it's free, better than you did in this video, I will try to do those sort of things for you. Leave me a comment below or email me through the contact information you will find at elementarymusicwithdonna.com. I always love to hear from you, and I wish you well as you are in your classrooms with your students, making wonderful music together and creating great musical experiences. Have a great day making music, and make music a great part of your day.